97.5 The Game Podcasting is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests.
People here locally are concerned with what South Carolina has done. There's been a lot of teams in the SEC that have also put up some questionable results. And LSU, who was number 2 going into the weekend, they drop a series to a not great Sacramento State team. They've lost to teams like Northeastern, Louisiana Lafayette, who is pretty good, as well as McNeese in the midweek. They're kind of scuffling. Florida, who South Carolina is going to play later on this week, they dropped their first 2 games against High Point and needed a walk-off, 12 runs to beat them in their 3rd game on Sunday. So while there's certainly a high level of concern here, and rightfully so, they're not the only team in the SEC that is not performing to the standard that they hoped they would.
Nice to finish off a week going 5-0. I challenged the guys at the beginning of the week, and we had some tough games during the course of this week, but we found a way to prevail and get our record back to something that's respectable. And more importantly than even the record is, I just feel like our team is growing, getting better, and obviously the story tonight was Amp. He pitched great, like I know he can. And we got a bunch of clutch hits today. Several guys came through with big hits, and it was nice to have a bit of an offensive explosion and took a lot of pressure off our bullpen today, which was a good thing.
Kale, we kind of alluded to this a moment ago. Beating Upstate, beating Charleston Southern, taking 3 against Princeton, even beating the Citadel tomorrow night to win the 6 games between Clemson and Florida doesn't make anybody feel tremendously better. Right now, I was noting the accomplishments of the offense from this past weekend, which is good, but still everybody's in wait-and-see mode of how you do that against teams in the SEC. But there is something to be said about going out there and doing your job, because while we don't feel better about them winning these games, we'd feel a whole lot worse if they lost to Upstate, if they lost 2 out of 3 against Princeton and then dropped a game, to Citadel tomorrow night, and then you're suddenly 2-4 in those 6 games instead of 6-0. So while it's not a fix-all, it is certainly a, hey, we could be worse off. So good on you for handling your business. The greater discussion is the overall future of this program, and I know the majority of fans that text us or tweet us or whatever that call in, a lot of them want Lamont Paris gone. And I can understand that sentiment because this has been a disappointing year and 3 out of his 4 seasons have not met expectations. But all indications up to this point, and even up until over the weekend, Pete Nakos put out his latest update on what he's been hearing about coaches that are on the hot seat around men's college basketball. It seems like all signs are pointing to Lamont Paris coming back. And I don't know at this point if there's anything that could happen Wednesday against Oklahoma that would change that. So I've said it earlier. I feel like we're almost kind of softening the blow because there's going to be a lot of blowback when this gets announced. If it does go this way, that people are going to be upset, and I understand that. But again, we've kind of been warming up to this for a couple weeks now that it does seem like he's going to come back potentially with more resources because that's something they've lacked these past couple years. And again, I'm not anticipating any changes being made at the top of men's basketball for right now.